Ever wondered why some people study less but score more? Let's dive into the secrets behind it. Most of us have faced the frustration of forgetting, despite hours spent studying. But what if the key wasn't in the duration, but in the method? Stick around and we'll unveil 5 game-changing techniques to supercharge your study sessions and boost retention. Imagine that you just stayed up very late last night, studying for a big test. You focused all of your energy on memorizing as much information as you could. You drank coffee and energy drinks to keep yourself awake and finally crashed in the wee hours of the morning. Then you went to take your test. You felt tired, frazzled, and ended up forgetting half of what you had studied. Sound familiar? Well, what if you were to discover a better way to learn information and remember it for a much longer period of time? What if you not only memorized facts and descriptions, but actually understood them? Here are 5 tips that may help you learn to study more effectively. Tip number 1. Smarter, not harder. Knowing how to study is the first step in successful learning. Things like having a comfortable workspace can be one part of your plan, but it's not the only place you can study. Some people believe that they need to set hours of time aside to sit down, read, and memorize all the information they're trying to learn. But this method isn't really very effective. Your brain becomes tired, the information can become scattered, and you can end up with not much to show for all of your hard work. Learning some techniques that may be new to you can be the path to greater success. By discovering how your brain works, you can set up your study time to maximize the natural tendencies for learning and storing information. The idea is to process information so that it can be stored longer and organized for easy retrieving. Utilizing the best study tools available can put you on the path to better success. Paul J. Meyer, founder of Success Motivation Institute, stated, "Productivity is never an accident. It is always the result of a commitment to excellence, intelligent planning, and focused effort." Tip number 2. Use spaced repetition techniques. Research shows that spaced repetition is the best way to learn anything. By actively recalling something in spaced intervals, your brain can reinforce the connections that help you to remember things. In comparison, when you study passively, your brain doesn't process it in the same way. If you are reading a textbook, making some notes, or watching a video multiple times, you may notice the information at the time, but it can be quickly dismissed. In order to move it into longer-term memory storage, you may need to take a different route. Short bursts of studying, followed by recalling the information later, has been shown to produce better long-term effects. The main thing is to retest yourself with active recall, multiple times, spaced some time apart. The amount of time between can be based on several factors, such as the difficulty of the information, how much of it is new to you, and how much time you have to learn it. For example, flashcards can be a helpful tool for this type of studying. You can make paper flashcards or use an app or other digital tool. Most people are familiar with flashcards. They can be efficient and convenient, making it easy to do quick reviews in small intervals throughout the day. To make flashcards, on one side write down a question or leave a blank to fill in. On the other side is the answer. Study the cards for a short period of time, then put them away. Study again in a few hours. If that's too easy, leave a longer space of time before you try again. You can adjust the span of intervals according to how well you are remembering the information. Another method of short repetition studying might be to read new material and then give yourself 1 minute to write down anything you can remember. If you find you missed some of the points of the chapter or article, you can try again later. Spaced repetition can help your brain retain more information because it is being reinforced for a longer, more permanent amount of time. A simple example is, if you meet someone one time, you may easily forget their name. But if you see them over and over again, it's no problem at all to remember them. Tip number 3. Utilize mnemonic devices. You've likely been using mnemonics since you were a child and may not have even realized it. The word mnemonic was derived from the Greek goddess of memory, Mnemosyne. Basically, a mnemonic device is any learning technique that helps you to remember information. One example is something children do in learning their alphabet. By learning the ABC song, they can memorize 26 letters. Other types of mnemonic devices are things like acronyms and acrostics. By using the first letter of a word to create a sentence, or something that sounds like a word, it can trigger your memory to remember a larger group of words. One sample could be the phrase, "Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally." This can help you remember the computational order in math problems. P equals parenthesis, E equals exponents, M equals multiplication, D equals division, A equals addition, and S equals subtraction. By memorizing the simple phrase, the order of operations can be easily recalled. By creating a phrase or word that incorporates parts of what you are trying to remember, you may be able to recall the information more easily. Another memory tool you might try is called the method of loci, also known as the memory palace technique, which has to do with remembering things in relation to their location. To use this method, create a list of things you want to remember. For example, let's say you have a shopping list of apples, birdseed, a blue sweater, frozen corn, and a phone charger. First, try visualizing your home and all of its rooms. Imagine an item from your list in each room. The more outlandish you create the picture in your mind, the more likely you are to remember it. For example, imagine walking into your home and seeing a basket of apples in the entryway. As you walk into the living room, you see a giant green parrot eating birdseed, wearing a blue sweater. You continue on into the kitchen and see the entire room filled with frozen corn. Phone chargers hanging from the ceiling complete the silly scene. This same method can be used for any group of items that you want to recall later. The brain remembers pictures better than abstract words and concepts, so this can be a very effective study tool. Songs, rhymes, and chunking groups of numbers or items together are more examples of mnemonic devices. There are plenty of fun and effective mnemonic ideas online to add to your study toolbox. Tip number 4. Prioritize discipline over motivation. Feeling motivated to do something can be helpful, but it's not predictable. You might be excited about something for a while, but if you get tired or distracted, your motivation can start to disappear. That's when discipline comes in. Setting regular times to study and doing it whether you feel like it or not can help you stay on track and make progress. Navy SEAL Jocko Willink said, "Don't expect to be motivated every day to get out there and make things happen. You won't be. Don't count on motivation. Count on discipline." Tip number 5. Combine information and knowledge. Learning something is more than just remembering facts and figures. It's making sense of how it all fits together. Spaced repetition, mnemonics, and other methods of studying are all good ways to help remember information. But memorizing something and understanding it can be two different things. Understanding what you are learning is an important component of studying. Use tools that connect relational items and discover how they fit together to reach a deeper form of learning. For example, it's not enough for a scientist to know that chemicals react. They need to know how and why to interpret the results. By using effective study techniques, you may be able to spend less time studying and more time learning. By storing information in your long-term memory, you can use those thoughts to expand your knowledge and build on it. Musician B.B. King said, "The beautiful thing about learning is that no one can take it away from you." Would you like the full illustration from this video? Click here and I'll send it right over. If you are already subscribed to my free Art of Improvement email newsletter, then there's a copy of it already waiting in your inbox. Thank you for watching and have an awesome week.